Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad. Prabhuji, you are
Hare
on mute.
Krishna, Prabhu, your audio.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So let's start.
Prabhuji. Hare
Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjanashalakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनः सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्ताश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Welcome back to our Gita session. We are on chapter 4. Chapter 8 is entitled Transcendental Knowledge. We'll repeat first few shlokas from chapter number 4, starting from 1. Please repeat after me. Verse first. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manorishva Kave Abravi Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Raj Rishayo Vido सकाले नेह महता योगो नष्ट परन्तप स एव मया ते अद्य योग प्रोक्त पुरातन भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं ह्येतदुत्तमम्। अर्जुन उवाच अपरं भवतो जन्म परं जन्म विवस्वतः कथम् एतद्विजानीयाम् त्वम् आदौ प्रोक्तवान् इति। श्रीभगवान् उवाच बहुनि मे व्यतीतानि जन्मानि तव चार्जुन तानि अहं वेद सर्वाणि न तं वेत्त परन्तप। अजोऽपि सन्नव्ययात्मा भूतानामीश्वरोऽपि सन् प्रकृतिं स्वामधिष्ठाय सम्भवामि आत्ममायया। यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानामधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्। परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम् धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सो अर्जुन। वीतराग भय क्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रिता बहवो ज्ञान तपसा भूता मद्भाव आगतः ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्यहम्। मम वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वशः कांक्षतः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त इह देवता। क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा। चातुर्वर्ण्य मया सृष्टम् गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विधिय कर्तारमव्ययम्। न मां कर्माणि लिप्पन्ति न मे कर्मफले स्पृहा इति मां योऽभिजानाति कर्मभिर्न स बध्यते। एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वतरं कृतं। किं कर्म किमकर्मेति कवयो अपि अत्र मोहिता तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्। कर्मणो कर्मणो हि अपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः। कर्मणि अकर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृष्ण कर्म कृत्। यस्य सर्वे समारंभा काम संकल्प वर्जिता ज्ञानाग्निदग्ध कर्माणं तमाहु पंडितं बुधा त्यक्ता कर्मफलासंगं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः। कर्मणि प्रवर्तोऽपि नैव किंचित् करोति सा निराशीरयत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त्वा सर्व परिग्रह। शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम् यदृच्छालाभ संतुष्टो द्वन्द्वतीतो विमत्सरः। समसिद्धौ सिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते। गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य
गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य
ज्ञानवस्थितचेतसः
ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः
यज्ञायाचरत कर्म समग्रं प्रवदीयते। ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः ब्रह्माग्नो ब्रह्मणाहुतम् ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यम् Brahma Karma Samadhina. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are right now in chapter 4. Chapter 4 is entitled as the Transcendental Knowledge, wherein we'll find that in this chapter Krishna proclaims loudly the cause of his appearance, the eternal nature of his Leela, the presence of Jnana Yoga in the prescribed actions, and the glories of the Jnana above all. So he mentions the cause of his appearance in this chapter, then the eternal nature of his Leela, and then the presence of Jnana Yoga in the prescribed actions, and the glories of the Jnana above all. So this chapter starts with the Lord saying that Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan am avyayam vivasvan manave praha manurishva kave abravit. So Krishna wants to give the credibility of this knowledge, telling Arjuna how this knowledge is ancient. It's not something new that he is teaching. This knowledge is imperishable, not something new, ever fresh, imperishable, eternal. That means the principles. So the Avyayam means imperishable yoga, refers to the teaching whose truth never becomes absolute. Krishna says, Proktavan aham avyayam. So the Avyayam here means imperishable knowledge. This refers to the teachings whose truth never becomes obsolete. Although the ages may pass, essential principles of the liberation remains unchanged. So Krishna introduces this lineage to establish the credibility of his instruction. Just like when we write the book, people take the autograph or some initial passage from some great personalities who endorses that book. So similarly, Krishna is utilizing Indra's name, sun god's name, saying that this knowledge previously I gave to him. It's not something new. Now this imperishable yoga is the path of karma yoga performed with knowledge of the self and the devotion of the Supreme. Because in the previous two chapters, Krishna spoke about the Nishkam Karma Yoga. So Ramanujacharya, he says that this imperishable yoga is the path of karma yoga performed with knowledge of the self and devotion to the Supreme. So the Krishna mentions the lineage in the start of this chapter to show the authority and the antiquity of the teaching. It was especially taught to the royal sages because rulers have the responsibility of protecting the dharma while remaining spiritually grounded. So the key point is that the truth is the eternal, even when its transmission may decline over time. In the second verse, Sa kale nehamata yoga nasta parantapa. So the transmission may have declined or may decline with the passage of time, but truth remains eternal. Right? So avyaya, imperishable knowledge. The truth is eternal, the teachings eternal, though, and that truth never becomes obsolete. And that teaching is still effective, will remain effective, was effective in the past. It's not something new that Krishna is telling. Ancient knowledge, effective all the time. So Krishna is telling that Imam Vivasvate Yogam. I gave this knowledge to who? Vivaswan. Who is Vivaswan? Sun God Vivaswan. Proktavahanam Avyayam. This knowledge is Avyaya, imperishable knowledge. And then what did Sun God Vivaswan do? He spoke to whom? No. Vivaswan
Manu.
Manave Brahma. What is the name of the Manu?
Swayambhu Manu.
Vivasvat Manu. So the name is not mentioned, right? Vivaswan Manave Brahma. So Manu means current Manu. Current Manu. Vivaswan Manave Brahma. Manave. Unto Manave. Manu Prahani. Manave. Unto Manu. Manu ko kaha. So Manave Praha said. And then what did Manu do? Manu spoke to Ishwaku. Right? So the personality of the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said, I instructed this empirical science of knowledge to son called Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind. And the Manu in turn instructed to Ishwaku. Here we find the history of the Bhagavad Gita traced from a remote time which it was delivered to the royal orders of all the planets, beginning from the sun god. Sun god is the ruler of all the planets. The kings of all the planets are especially meant for the protection of the inhabitants. And therefore, the royal order should understand the science of Bhagavad Gita in order to be able to rule the citizens and protect them from the material bondage to the lust. So, previous chapter about the lust, deteriorating effect of the lust is mentioned. The most is the enemy, isn't it? So, then the previous verse, eternal enemy is lust. Somewhere in 6th chapter, you will hear about the mind also being the enemy. But it is not mentioned as the eternal enemy. Mind can also be the friend, can also be the enemy. But the eternal enemy is who? Lust, desire. Isn't it? So therefore, why the desire is being spoken about in the previous verse? Because desire is the obstacle in performing activities, Nishkam Karma Yoga, without desire for the results. Nishkam Karma Yoga means performing results, performing action without desire for the results. So this desire for the results, this kama, is the eternal enemy. Previous chapter described, last section, right? So now here Prabhupada is mentioning that the royal order is given this knowledge. Why especially the royal order? Because the royal order is supposed to give protection to the inhabitants. And therefore they have to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita in order to rule the citizen and to protect them from the material bondage of lust. Human life is meant for for cultivation of spiritual knowledge in eternal relationship with the personality of Godhead. Very important. Human life is meant for what? For cultivation of spiritual knowledge in eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the executive heads of the states and all planets are obliged to impart this knowledge to the citizen by education, culture, and devotion. In other words, the executive heads of all the states are intended to spread the science of Krishna consciousness so that the people may take advantage of the great science and pursue a successful path utilizing the opportunities of the human form of life. Why was Prabhupada behind Gandhiji, writing letters to the presidents and all, to the government bodies? Because if they take up, they can perform their duties of spreading Krishna consciousness, which is the prime duties of the ruler, along with ruling. And ruling with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and spreading this culture of Krishna consciousness. This is the prime most important activity for all the human entity. Therefore, Prabhupada would always think big and catch bigger people. But when no support came, he did not stop. He did not budge. He did not say, why, Krishna, you are not providing facility. Krishna Richa. Whatever Krishna decides. But I will not stop. Who stops me? He went on and Krishna provided. In this millennium, the sun god is known as Vivasvan, the king of the sun. which is the origin of all planets. So it's not a symbolic representation of something. He is a person. Sun God Vivaswan is a person. It's not a personification of something. It's a real person. The sun god is known as Vivaswan, the king of sun, which is the origin of all planets within the solar system. In the Brahma Samhita, it is mentioned, Yat Chakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahana Raja Samast Suramurti Rasesha Tejaha Yasya Agnya Brahmati Sambrit Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Let me worship Lord Brahma. The Lord Brahma said, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, who is original person and under whose order the sun, which is the king of all planets, is assuming immense power and heat. The sun represents the eye of the Lord and traverses its orbit in obedience to his order. The sun is the king of all the planets and the sun god, at present the name Vivaswan, ruler of the sun planet, which is controlling all other planets by supplying heat and light. He is rotating under the order of the Krishna. The Lord Krishna originally made, he is rotating under the order of Krishna. Sun god, sun is rotating, right? And he's rotating under the order of Krishna. Yasya Agnya Brahmati. And the Lord Krishna originally made Vivaswan his first disciple to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita. The Gita is not therefore a speculative treatise for the insignificant mundane scholar, but is a standard book of knowledge coming down from the time immemorial. Now, Prabhupada is quoting Mahabharata, wherein it is mentioned that in the start of the Treta Yuga, this knowledge was given to Manu, by Manu to Ishvaku, right? So we can trace from at least from certain line where the Gita came. So we can trace out the history of the Bhagavad Gita as follows. In Mahabharata, Shanti Parva, it is mentioned, Treta Yuga Adau cha tato Vivaswan manave dado. Treta Yuga Adau cha tato Vivaswan manave dado. Manuscha loka brit artham shaktaya sutaya sutaya kshvakshave dado. Ishvakshave dado. Ishvakuna cha katito Vyapya Lokan Avastitaha. In the beginning of the millennium known as Treta Yuga, this science of the relationship with the Krishna, with the Supreme, was delivered by Vivaswan to Manu. So Treta Yuga Ado Chatato. In the beginning of the Treta Yuga. So at least we know that Bhagavad Gita is there from beginning. Why? Because Treta Yuga Ado Vivaswan Manu gave to Manu. Of course, before this, Vivaswan gave to the Manu. To the Vivaswan, Krishna gave. That means before the Manu only, Krishna gave to Vivaswan, and then Vivaswan gave to the Manu. And here it is mentioned when it was given to the Manu, Treta Yugado. Which Yuga is going now? So at least we know that is existing from Manu, from Treta Yuga, when it was given to the Manu. Though we can assume safely that it was given before the birth of Manu to Vivaswan. We can assume that. But at least since Treta Yuga it is there. So we can trace now. Right?
Prabhuji, can we
Manu
ask?
being the father of mankind gave it to his son Maharaj Ishwaku, the king of this earthly planet and forefather of Raghu dynasty, in which Lord Ramchandra appeared. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita has existed in the human society from the time of Maharaj Ishwaku. Right? So now, let us trace back. So Treta Yuga, the start of Treta Yuga. So start of Treta Yuga, how many yugas are there? Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kal Yuga. Kal Yuga is how long? 4,32,000 years. Double of that means you add 4,32,000 again 8,64,000. Triple of that? No. Triple of Kal Yuga. But unto this age of Dwapar Yuga, the duration of Dwapar, you again add 4,32,000, which becomes the triple of Kal Yuga. That is how much? 12 lakh 64 plus 32, 96. Right? Again add 12, again add 4 lakh 32,000. So like this, you combine 4 lakh 32, 8 lakh 64, 12 lakh 96 plus I think 17 lakh something. It becomes 43 lakh 20,000 years. One Chatur Yuga. One Yuga cycle or one Chatur Yuga becomes how much? 43 lakh 20,000 years. That is one Yuga cycle or one Divya Yuga. Like that one Yuga cycle or one Divya Yuga multiplied by 1,000 becomes 1 day of Brahma. One Kalpa, 1 day of Brahma. That is 12 hours of Brahma. Right? Brahma lives for 100 years. So now it is mentioned that at least from Treta Yuga, this science of Gita is there. Treta Yuga. So let's calculate. This is Kali Yuga is going. In Kali Yuga, 5,000 years are passed. Okay? So Treta Yuga, you know how long duration is the Treta Yuga? 4 lakh 33 multiplied by 3. 12 lakh 96. Take the calculator. 12 lakh 96,000. Treta Yuga. Then Dwapar Yuga. 8 lakh 64. How much it becomes? 12 lakh 96 plus 8 lakhs 64. Huh? Plus Kalyug 4 lakh 32. Almost Kalyug we have reached. Right? We have started, right? Kalyug. So 5,000 years has passed. So let's not count Kalyuga because no, but Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga is almost over. So at present moment we have just passed through the 5,000 years of Kalyuga, which lasts for 4 lakh 32,000 years. Before this there was Dwapar Yuga, 8 lakh 64, but Prabhupada took it as common general 8 lakhs. And before that there was Treta Yuga, 12 lakh 96,000. Prabhupada took general 12 lakh. Now you add this 12 lakh plus 8 lakh, how much? 20 lakh. So that means Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga combined, right? Because in the start it was spoken. So roughly around 20 lakh 5,000 years ago, Manu spoke Bhagavad Gita to his disciple and the son Maharaj Ishwak. Right? The king of the planet Earth. The age of current Manu is calculated to be last some 30 crore 53 lakh. The age of the current Manu is calculated this much. How it came this much? The age of the current Manu is calculated to last this much. Means what? Current Manu age.
Hare Krishna.
What is the age of current Manu? How do we calculate?
Hare Krishna.
How many Manus are there in the day of Brahma?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
14 Manus. 14 Manus in the day of Brahma. How many Divya Yugas are there in the day of Brahma? 1,000. So 1,000 Divya Yuga in the day of Brahma, 14 Manu in the day of Brahma. So each Manu will get how many Yuga cycle? 1,000 divided by 14. 71 plus 71.43. Let's consider 71. 71 Divya Yuga for one Manu. Correct? And we know one Divya Yuga is 43 lakh 20,000. 40 lakh roughly. Right? And then each Manu has how many? 71 Yuga cycle. So you know how many period duration Manu lasts? 71 into 71 Divya Yuga into each Divya Yuga is how many period? How many years? 40 lakh. How much? 71 into 40. Do it.
Hare Krishna.
Huh? 40 lakh. Huh? 284. So 70 into 71 into actually it is 43 lakhs 20,000 years. Right? So 43 lakhs. You do 43 lakhs. 71 into 43 lakhs. Satyug, Tirtha Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kal Yug together. How much? 43 lakhs 20. But you take 43 lakhs. So 43 lakhs into 71. That should be the age of Manu. How much is the age of Manu? Huh? See how much Prabhupada is mentioning. The age of current Manu is calculated to last somewhere around 30 crores 53 lakhs. That is the age of current Manu, any Manu, na? Every Manu has got how many? 71 Divya Yuga. This Divya Yuga is, one Divya Yuga is 43 lakhs 20,000. I just remove 20,000. 43 lakhs you catch. So 43 lakhs into 71 Divya Yuga, that much is the period of Manu. So current Manu or any Manu would last for that long. So here Prabhupada is explaining the age of current Manu is calculated to last somewhere of which this much has passed. How do we understand this much period has passed? Where it is mentioned. So now here is mentioned this much period is last. How do we calculate this much period? 12 lakhs, 12 crore 4 lakh year has passed. So you know which in this Manu, how much we are in which Chatur Yuga? Is 71, na? So we are currently in which Chatur Yuga, you know?
Hare Krishna.
In Bhagavatam it is mentioned 28 Divya Yuga. The Vyasdev which came 28 Divya Yuga. So this 28 Divya Yuga. So now this is so 28. That means how many this 28 Divya Yuga is going on? Right? So 28 Divya Yuga and you know one Divya Yuga is how much? 43 lakh. 43 we calculated, na? Right? So 43 into 28. 43 lakh into 28 should be the duration of the Manu which has passed. Right? Current Manu. Current Manu ka duration has passed. So how much it comes? 43 lakh into 21 into 28. 12 crore. See how much is the figure Prabhupada gives. 12 crore 4 lakhs. What is that figure? What does that figure denote?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
For whom? For the current one. Because if you say only this many years has passed, means for us, this many years has passed. No, for current Manu, this many years are passed.
Hare Krishna.
And how long
Prabhuji.
will this Manu live? 30 crore, 53 lakh. 12 crore has passed.
Hare
Okay,
Krishna,
now
Prabhuji.
out of the syllabus question. Not out of the syllabus, connected to syllabus only. We are in which Manu? Which Manu? Not Yuga cycle, Divya Yuga. We are the current which Manu?
28.
7th Manu. Vaivaswat Manu. Huh? So that means how many Manu has passed?
6.
6 has passed. And 7 Manu ka which is the Divya Yuga we are in? 28. So now 6 Manu ka how many Divya Yuga comes? 6 Manu. One Manu ka how many?
71.
71 roughly. Exact if you want then 1000 divided by 14. That is 71.43 something. Right? So that much Divya Yuga multiplied by 6 should give the duration of 6 Manus. And then 7 Manu ka this 112 lakh 4,000. That will show exactly this day of Brahma how many years has passed. Meaning years has passed. And can you tell me how many Divya Yuga has passed? Because in the day of Brahma, how many Divya Yuga are there? 1000. Now, if I asked you, in this current day of Brahma, which has 1000 Divya Yuga, how many Divya Yuga has passed? Can you calculate? Huh? 6 into? So calculate. First do 1000 divided by 1000 divided by 14. How much it comes? So 71.43 into how many manus? 6. How many Divya Yugas? 428.5 plus current Manu, how many Divya Yugas? 28. 28 because 20th is going on. So 456.5. So 456 Divya Yuga is going on. Huh? Find out, na? If I ask in the exam this question, simple, how many manus are there? You can write how much Divya Yugas have passed of the day of Brahma. You can write. Huh? See, Prabhupada is giving all the calculations, doing something additional about this Manuka. So how much? 450? So see, exactly you are 456 or 457, whatever you write, that's the current Divya Yuga which is going on.
Prabhuji.
Huh? And if I tell you to give the exact years, then you will have to multiply it by what? You will have to multiply it with? If I ask exact years of this Divya Yuga, you will have to multiply it with? No. 43 lakhs 20,000 years. है ना? ठीक है? Okay. Accepting that before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken by the Lord to his disciple, the sun god Vivaswan. A rough estimates that Gita was spoken at least 1 lakh 12 crore 4 lakh years ago. Because Manu was born, Vivaswan. Before him, we assume that this knowledge was given, right, to his father, sun god. Yes. We have taken it from Bhagavad. Yes. Took it from Bhagavad. Also, Prabhupada writes, yes, take it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Just a minute. Okay, so devotees, they called me and said that they are muted. They want to also answer. So I don't know how to unmute them. Who is the host here? Okay, I'm also the host. Okay, then I have to unmute them. Please give me participant record, share notes, meeting settings. Okay, settings. Meeting settings. The buzzer always completed. So my video. Virtual background. How do I unmute the devotees here? Can somebody help?
Can you hear me? Hare
Even
Krishna,
Tanmay
Prabhuji.
with that?
Prabhu,
Prabhuji, can
you
you?
cannot unmute the devotees. The devotee itself can unmute himself or
Yes.
herself.
So devotees, please, those who
Hare,
called me,
Hare Krishna, can
unmute
you hear me?
yourself and
Hare
Can
Krishna,
you,
yeah,
Prabhuji.
can
Can
yeah.
you?
you hear
Yes,
me?
Prabhuji.
Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, please. Yeah. You can get it.
I had a little doubt when in the purport when he talked about he's talking about sun is rotating under the order of Krishna. Now,
Uh-huh.
is the sun rotating? I thought the normal input is that sun is stationary and the planets are rotating around it. What is the
Yeah.
difference?
Yeah, our geography, they taught us that sun is stationary and earth is rotating,
All the
is
planets.
revolving around the sun and also rotating on its own orbit.
That's right.
It's rotating on its own orbit, also revolving around the sun, right? That is being taught to us, no?
That's right.
But Bhagavatam is Bhagavatam. Huh? Now the Bhagavatam is Bhagavatam. That sun is the planet which is fixed.
Yeah.
Other planets are rotating around the Earth. Earth is the fixed planet.
Earth is a fixed planet and sun is
Yes.
rotating around it.
Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, all are rotating around the Earth.
But even the modern science has now proven it, no, that sun is stationary and all other planets are moving around it.
See, now I'll give one example. If we are sitting in a train and the person sitting in the next train besides us, when that train is moving, starts moving, we who are sitting in this train, we feel that our train is moving.
Correct.
Who will know exactly if that train is moving or this train is moving?
An observer
One who is
outside.
beyond.
Observer.
One who is beyond both the trains can know.
Any observer.
Right? So if this scientist who may go away from and they see that, oh, these people are moving. We are stationary or we are moving, they are moving. Nobody can say for sure. But those is beyond this, they can say exactly who is moving.
But
So we believe in the words of Krishna. When Krishna says, that is the truth. That's what our faith comes from Krishna, not from this mere scientist, so-called scientist, sorry. Because science means it's a truth, right? This is a so-called science. And in our studies, we have studied so many postulates which is being defeated by another so-called scientist who comes and says, now this is new, something I am bringing. The previous was wrong. So we are done with all these things. And nothing which is mentioned in the Bhagavatam we have come across which was finally being refuted. Right now they may say, but they have no proofs.
can I just add an input, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Does it really say directly that sun is rotating around the earth? In the cosmos, the solar system itself is rotating. Does he mean
Which
to
includes
say
the sun also.
exactly? But it doesn't say very clearly that the sun is rotating around the earth. Our planet, in our solar system, all the planets are moving around the sun. I think that is almost a very, very proven thing. It's no longer a postulate. I'm saying all our dependence upon the seasons, changing of seasons, etc. All these velocities and all have been calculated and proven without any doubt now.
So Prabhu, our devotees who have brought about the structural model and all, they have taken PhDs, they have come up with the documents, proofs, and also the Bhagavatam, Surya Siddhanta and others, it talks about the exact speed with which the will of the sun is moving around from Manasottar planet to the middle one, that is the golden behind which they are rotating. So everything is mentioned so precisely is given. So that's the subject matter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll not go in detail, but Prabhupada just mentioned one line here that it's rotating.
Rotating is a true thing. There's no doubt, because in the entire cosmos, our entire solar system is also moving.
Yes.
So maybe with that in mind, he's put this, that the sun is rotating. But to say that sun is rotating around the earth, I don't think so. That is it so clearly stated in that?
Yes, so in Bhagavatam,
Achha.
Sorry.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, other question anybody has? Yeah, so how is 43 lakhs? 43 lakhs is one Divya Yuga. One Divya Yuga means Satyug, Tretayug, Dwapar Yug, Kalyug. Kalyug is 4 lakh 32. At 4 lakh 32 makes Dwapar Yuga. At 4 lakh 32,000 makes Treta Yuga. At 4 lakh 32,000 through that Treta Yuga period makes Satyug. So 4 lakh 32 is 4 lakh 32 to 3 is Treta Yuga. So like say 4, 8, 12, 16. It will be more, but 4, 8, 12, 16. How much it comes? 40. And exactly it is 43 lakhs 20,000. I took 43 lakhs. Why? Because it will match with Prabhupada's calculation. Thousand is just a period. But out of the 1,000, 1,000 Divya Yuga is 1 day of Brahma. 12 hours of Brahma. Is there 1 day of Brahma? 1,000 Divya Yuga. One day, 12 hours. 12 hours. Means in our term, it is there, but we say no daytime. We say that day. Then 1 day. 1 day means 12 hours. Manu resides in the upper higher planetary systems. Manu resides. Swarloka and above. Swarloka and above. Yeah. Some Mataji had called me. She had some. She want to.
I have called you, Mataji. Prabhuji,
Yeah.
I have called you.
Acha. You have any questions, Mataji?
No, not as such, but we all were trying to interact. That's why I called you.
Okay, good.
Prabhuji,
Okay.
so to
Yeah.
get the exact number of how many years this Brahmaji stays is 1,000 into 100, right? So 1,000 into 100 comes to 10 lakhs. So
Hey,
10
1,000 into 100? What is that 100?
100 is the year, na? 100 year. 100 year, the age of Brahma. 100 years, the age of Brahma.
Okay. The years of Brahma you are trying to calculate.
Is, matlab, 1,000 yugas is equal to 1 day, right, Prabhuji? So
You want to
100 years is equal to 10 lakh years. 10 lakh or 1 crore it could be. I'm very bad
Okay.
at maths.
Now when I say 1,000 yuga is 1 day, that 1 day is equal to 12 hours of Brahma,
Yeah.
not 24 hours.
Yeah, but yeah.
So 1 day of Brahma is 1,000 Divya Yuga. Similarly, 1,000 Divya Yuga is 1 night of Brahma.
So,
In that way, 24 hours of Brahma.
But that night will be calculated
And in
as
that way, he
No, the 1,000 into 100 if
so in
we
that
do,
way, it takes what?
1,000 into 100 if we do,
No, why you are calculating 100? Why you are bringing 100 into picture?
because
Nowhere 100 has come.
100
You just
years.
Okay,
ठीक है, I got it.
no, but we are not calculating the year of Brahmaji.
Okay.
We are not calculating how long Brahma stays. Brahmaji stays.
Okay.
Brahmaji has 100 years.
Prabhuji, is Div Yuga same as Mahayug?
First of all, we are calculating first our year, the Manu ka age. That itself is too big. Why we are going to Brahma's age?
Prabhuji,
Huh?
is Mahayug same as Divya Yuga?
Yes.
Mahayug and Divya Yuga is same. So you can say.
Means I consider Mahayuga as Divya Yuga.
Okay, so a day of Brahma is actually 1,000 Mahayug or 1,000 Divya Yuga.
Divya Yuga, I am saying Divya Yuga. One Divya Yuga means one Yuga cycle. Satyug, Tretayug, Dwapar, Kalyug.
One Yuga cycle, yes. Thank you.
Right? Satyug, Tretayug, Dwapar, Kalyug. That is 43 lakhs 20,000 years. That is one Divya Yuga, one Yuga cycle. In that way, 1000 Divya Yuga is 1 day of Brahma, that is 12 hours of Brahma. In that, there are 14 Manus. So each Manu would be 1000 divided by 14. That is 71.43.
Is this Manu same as Manvantara?
Yes, Manu is same as Manvantara in the sense Manu stays for a one Manvantara period.
Okay,
One Manu
Manvantara.
stays for one Manvantara period.
Manu is the person and Manvantara is the period. That's right. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Correct? We are discussing all this because Sun God gave it to Manu. And in Bhagavad, in Mahabharata, Prabhupada quoted that in the Treta Yuga, though, in the start of the Treta Yuga, Manu was given this knowledge, who in turn gave it to Ishwagu. So considering that since the birth of this Manu, this Bhagavad Gita should be there. So therefore, 12 crore 4 lakh years has been passed. Huh? Nice question. So his question is, in this Divya Yuga, is the Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga interchanged? Did you get the question? In this Divya Yuga, Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga is changed? Yes. Because generally, what is the cycle? Satyug, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga. That's always the cycle. Satyug, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga and Kali Yuga. But in this age, in this Divya Yuga, Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga. This is also given in the Bhagavatam. Okay? So we move ahead. So Gita was spoken at least 12 crores 4 lakh years ago, and in the human society it has been extant for 2 million years. It was re-spoken by the Lord again to the Arjuna about 5,000 years ago. That is the rough estimate of the history of the Gita according to the Gita itself. So the question, what is the history of the Gita? When was Gita spoken? What is the age of current Manu? How much is past for the current Manu? Give the calculation along with the proper figures. Because this is not mentioned in book, but at least in the class you have calculated, right? So you can maximum marks for this. है ना? So you can write the figures. 41,000 divided by 14 Manus. 1 day of Brahma, 12 hours. है ना? In 12 hours there are 14 Manus. And in the 12 hours there are 1,000 Divya Yugas. One Divya Yuga means this much. Satyug is this much. Treta Yuga is this much. Dwapar Yuga is this much. Kali Yuga. Yeah. Yeah. Because you see, in 1 day of Brahma, there is 14 Manus. In 1 day of Brahma, there are 1,000 Yuga cycles. Right? 1 day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. 1 day of Brahma, there are 1,000 Divya Yuga. So now for each Manu, how much Divya Yuga? So 1,000 divided by 14. Getting na? So we come to know for each Manu how much Divya Yuga. Okay? Because Bhagavad Gita is good as the Vedas, being spoken by the Supreme Person of Godhead, this knowledge is apaurushaya. You see, this knowledge is apaurushaya. Why? Because it is being spoken by Gita, by the Supreme Person of Godhead. Therefore, this knowledge is apaurushaya, superhuman. Since Vedic instructions are accepted as they are without human interpretation, the Gita must be therefore be accepted without human mundane interpretation. The mundane wranglers may speculate on Gita in their own ways, but that is not Bhagavad Gita as it is. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita has to be accepted as it is from the disciplic succession. And it is described herein that the Lord spoke to Sun God, and the Sun God spoke to his son Manu, and the Manu spoke to his son Ishwar. So very simple. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanamam abhyayam vivasvan manave praha Manu Ishwakave abravit. Sun God spoke, Krishna spoke to Sun God Vivasvan, Vivasvan spoke to Manu, whose name is Vivasvat Manu, the current Manu, seventh Manu, right? And then Manu spoke to Ishwaku.
So, Prabhuji, is it to be understood like Sun God every time says this ज्ञान to different manus? अभी विवस्वान जाएंगे, दूसरे मनु आएंगे, तो उनको भी समझाया जाएगा Sun God के through?
If I say yes, then you will ask where it is written, isn't it? So nowhere it is written like that. At every time, this would happen. It is not mentioned.
Okay.
Every time Sun God will speak to him, not mentioned. Right?
Okay.
So I can only say that I don't know every time it happens or not, because nowhere in anywhere I have read it. At least I have not read. It may be, but I have not read. So I can't comment on that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Right?
Thank you, Prabhu.
At least here Krishna is mentioning that I spoke this knowledge. Right? So yes, Krishna spoke this knowledge. Right? And then next chapter, next verse, Krishna says that you existed before, I also existed before. I remember, you do not remember. Right? So many births Krishna and Arjuna takes. Right? Every time he make you the knowledge to Arjuna, is exactly the same wordings as being spoken. Krishna is not bounded that he has to speak first initially. That is the only way. Krishna can speak to somebody else also. It's the wish of Krishna. So it's not like every time he speaks to Sun God and Sun God has to speak it to Manu and then Manu has to. But of course, parampara is the one, because this is the system. His knowledge is received in a parampara. That is the system principle. But then Krishna can choose anyone, any other king, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
But because the dynasty comes from the sun god and then moon god, so it makes sense that that at least on the top hierarchy, this would be the system. Yes, sir. Yeah, current Mani is the son of sun god Vivaswan with his wife Pragnya. Next one mantra, there will be a Manu whose name is mentioned. I have not, it is mentioned in Bhagavatam, who will come from the wife of Chaya. So sun god gave birth to, through the wife Chaya, to some sons. In that one son will become a Manu. That his name is also given. Current Manu is Vaivasvat Manu. Yes. So everything is given. Who will become Manu? Next Manu. Later on, who will be the Manu? Everything is mentioned. Okay, so move ahead. Please repeat after me. Evam parampara praptam imam raj rishayo vidu sakaline hamata yoga nasta parantapa. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly king understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. So this was broken by the influence of powerful time. It is clearly stated that Gita was especially meant for the saintly king because they were to execute the purpose of in ruling over the citizens. Certainly, Bhagavad Gita was never meant for the demoniac person who would dissipate its value for no one's benefit and would devise all types of interpretations according to the personal whims. As soon as the original purpose was scattered by the motives of the unscrupulous commentators, there arose the need to establish the disciplic succession. 5,000 years ago, it was detected by the Lord himself that that the disciplic succession was broken, and therefore he declared that the purpose of Gita appeared to be lost. And see Prabhupada's brilliance. He writes that in the same way, at the present moment also, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita, especially in English, but almost all of them are not according to the authorized disciplic succession. There are innumerable interpretations rendered by the different mundane scholars, but almost all of them do not accept the Supreme Person of Godhead. Almost all of them. Can you imagine? In the introduction also, Prabhupada mentions why he wrote this Bhagavad Gita when there are so many editions. Prabhupada said almost all of them does not specify Krishna as he is. So, almost all of them, please come, do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, although they make a good business on the words of Krishna. This spirit is demoniac because demons do not believe in God, but simply enjoy the property of the Supreme. Since there is a great need of an edition of the Gita in English, as it is received by the Parampara disciplic succession system, an attempt is made herein to fulfill this great want. Bhagavad Gita, accepted as it is a great boon to the humanity, but it is accepted as the treatise of philosophical speculation. It is simply but if it is accepted as a treatise of philosophical speculations, it is simply a waste of time. Any questions? So we are in chapter 4, verse number 3. Please repeat after me. Sa evayam mayate adya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam etaduttamam. Go downstairs into the reception inside. Go from there inside directly. Bhagavad Gita. Both of them want you to get that. That very ancient science of the relationship with Supreme is told today by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of the science. Saha eva. Saha means that. The same. Same what? Knowledge. Huh? The same knowledge. Which knowledge? Which he gave it to? Sun God. Same knowledge. Sa eva mayate adya. By me. Mayate adya. Adya means today. Yoga prokta puratanaha. Yoga prokta puratana. That very old. I am giving it to you. Why am I giving it to you? What is the qualification? Why is Krishna giving to Arjuna? Please hear. Is because Arjuna is a great charioteer, intelligent person, powerful person, that Krishna is giving this knowledge to him? Two qualifications. Devotee. Why devotee? With devotion. Devotee comes what? Why? What does the devotee denote? Surrender. Devotion. Isn't it? So that is, and then the reverence, discipline. Right? So all these things are needed when you say devotee. Just my devotee means not like my. Huh? Devotee means discipline is there. It's a devotion. Right? He has a reverence. He has a surrender. Therefore, Krishna is telling to Arjuna, I am giving you this knowledge because Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. You are my devotee. And sakha cha. Cha means and you are my friend. So when you say he is your friend, therefore Krishna is giving. What does the friend denote? So then everybody should have such rasa. Only then Krishna will give. So the friend here does not mean that literally friendship. Friend means there is a trust. In the friendship, there is a trust. There is also intimacy. Therefore, Arjuna having that intimacy and friendship and trust Therefore, Krishna gave. Right? So when Krishna decides to give this knowledge, what he sees? Devotion and friendship. Bhaktosi mein sata cheti. He gives to his devotees. When he gives to his devotees, that means there should be devotion and surrender. And when he says friend, that means there should be intimacy. There should be relationship. Otherwise, somebody comes and tells me, I want बड़े भगवान के बारे में बोलते हो, give me that knowledge. Will somebody give? Right? There has to be some relation. Right? Some friendship, something. कुछ लगा होना चाहिए. Otherwise, why will the devotees give? क्या मिलेगा उनसे? Devotees don't need anything. They are satisfied. They don't need any physical proprietorship or some money or anything from the people. So they can't challenge. Right? But out of service, surrender, somebody humbly presents that I need. So as a devotee, bhakta, with a surrender, eagerness, service attitude, if somebody asks, that shows the bhakta. So Krishna selected Arjuna because he's a bhakta. Bhaktosi mein sakha, also the friend. Relationship should be there. So Gita is not understood by somebody's educational power. Somebody says, I am educated, so I know Gita. No, that's not a qualification. Attitudes matters more than the qualification. Power, pride, these are not the qualification. Attitude matters. And because bhakti is mentioned, therefore this shows that, demonstrates that bhakti is the gateway to understanding Bhagavad Gita. What is the gateway to understanding Bhagavad Gita? Bhakti. Because Krishna here mentions, Bhaktosi mein sakha cheti. My devotee, because you are devotee, I am giving it to you. As well as my friend, you can understand this. So Prabhupada mentions there are two classes of men, namely the devotee and the demon. The Lord selected Arjuna as the recipient of great science owing to his being a devotee of the Lord. But for the demon, it is not possible to understand the great mysterious science. See, this is a mysterious science. Right. God gave knowledge to them. No. Last Sunday I spoke something else. I spoke that why Krishna selected means the last Sunday I spoke about the parampara which Krishna, we have 4 parampara. So why here Krishna is telling that he gave it to sun god? He gave it to Brahma first. Yeah, we discussed all that. No, because that relation, last time I spoke something, this time I'm speaking something. Right? Last time I spoke that we have 4 sampradaya. Why is Krishna mentioning that I gave this knowledge to sun god? And then Vivaswan, and then Ishwaku. Why is not mentioning I gave this knowledge to Brahmaji? Brahma gave to Daksha Prajapati. You see that, right? So then I mentioned that because Krishna is telling to Arjuna, who is a Kshatriya. So he's quoting the example of a Kshatriya. Therefore he mentioned that I gave it to sun god. But before that he gave to Manu. Before that he gave it to Brahmaji. But he did not mention the name of Brahmaji. Why? Because Brahmaji is not a Kshatriya. He's a Brahmana. Now somebody questioned that, but he is a creator. So creation happens by mode of passion. He represents mode of passion, right? Somebody asked in an audience, online question, that Brahmaji, he is a creator. So creation happens only with the mode of passion. So Brahmaji should be a Kshatriya, na? But that's not the way. Like even Prabhupada created so many temples. So is Prabhupada mode of passion? Then mode of goodness is transcendental. Because devotees are transcendental. So Brahmaji is the Acharya. Our Sampradaya is Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. So though Brahmaji is given charge of creation, it's transcendental. It does not belong to any of these modes. Right? But for creation, you need passion. Similarly, Shivji is in charge of mode of. So is he in ignorance? No. He's the Maheshwara. Yeah. So these personalities, they may take to some charge, but they are transcendental. Okay. So sa eva mayate adya yoga nastu. There are a number of editions of the great book of knowledge. Some of them have commentaries by the devotees and some of them have commentaries by demons. Commentaries by the devotees are real, whereas the of the demons is useless. Arjuna accepts Sri Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, and any commentary on the Gita following the footsteps of Arjuna is the real devotional service to the cause of great science. The demoniac, however, do not accept Lord Krishna as he is. Instead, they concoct something about Krishna and mislead general readers from the path of Krishna's instruction. He is warning about such misleading path. One should try to follow the disciplic succession from Arjuna and thus be benefited by the science of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So anyway, Krishna says here that I am giving you, I am selecting you. Why? Because you are my friend and my devotee. In the previous verse, he said that this knowledge has come in a parampara. In the first verse, he mentioned that I gave this knowledge to Sun God. Sun God gave it to his son Manu, and Manu gave to Ishwaku. And second verse says that in this way, evam parampara praptam. In this way, in the parampara, Raj Rishayo Vidu. Raj Rishi means one who is king also as a Rishi, who has all the knowledge. Right? They have all the knowledge because they are supposed to rule. And to rule, you need to have a knowledge. So the kings are given this knowledge. So Raj Rishi. And Krishna is telling evam parampara. Which parampara? Raj Rishi. Not Brahma, Lakshmi, all this parampara. This parampara is there. That is intact also. Right? But this parampara, Sakalane Hamata. Which parampara? Raj Rishi wala parampara. Sakalane Hamata. Yoga Nasta had got broken. Sa eva mayate adya. Third verse is telling. That same knowledge which I gave to whom? Sun God. I am giving it to you. Sa eva mayate adya yoga prokta puratana. Same old knowledge. Why I am giving you? Because you are my bhakta and you are my friend. Now, Arjuna is thinking, you gave to Sun God. Pray. Kab ke ho Sun God? And you are like, abhi to apna janma hua. Suppose if I tell you, no, अरे पहले मैं ब्रह्मा जी को बोला, बोलेंगे अरे कमान यार तुम्हारा अभी जन्म हुआ है क्या? So Arjuna in fourth verse is telling, please repeat after me. Arjuna vacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvatah katham etad vijaniyam Tamado Proktavaniti. Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand in the beginning you instructed this science to him? है ना? Obvious na? Aparam. See, param means great. Param divse Gujarati ma kehne param divse means the day after the next day, है ना? Which comes later. So aparam means not later. है ना? Param means later. Param means bija divse na. So aparam means not the later on. So aparam bhavato janma means your janma is not before sun god. That's what Arjuna is telling. So aparam bhavato janma and param janma. Long back janma happened. For whom? Vivasvan. Vivasvata, that is sun god. Katham etad vijaniyam. How do I know? Tvam ado. You earlier spoke to sun god. Now when he's asking this question, it may look like Arjuna does not know Krishna has many births. Right? It looks like Arjuna is in Agyan. He does not know कि अरे कृष्ण के बहुत बर्थ हो चुके हैं, and he has spoken in some incarnation in some way to sun god. Arjuna does not know. That's why he's
Prabhuji,
asking.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
just a doubt.
Huh?
Is it an acceptable way of saying that Krishna has lot of birth? I thought he is eternal, no birth, no death. He is eternal. So can we say that he has had lot of births?
We will see. Let the discussion flow. He's now revealing the nature of his birth actually. So let's continue.
Okay.
Then we'll take this question.
Okay.
So it looks like Arjuna is asking this question as if he does not know. But the fact is, just like Krishna is eternal, Arjuna is eternal. Nitya Siddha is a Nitya Siddha devotee of God. Nitya Siddha means those who are in the spiritual world, never bewildered, just like we are bewildered in this material world. So Arjuna is a Nitya Siddha devotee of Lord. He comes on a special mission with Krishna to perform the Leela. Krishna also comes. Only difference is Krishna is aware of all this. Arjuna is not kept aware of. If Krishna wants, he will come to know. Right? So he is kept under some influence by which he does not know that. Huh? Yeah. So Arjuna knew, but still Arjuna is asking. Arjuna knew that Krishna has many births, no? And still he is asking this question for benefit of the people in general. It's like in a classroom, devotees ask, any questions? Nobody's asking question. So the old standing devotee asks some basic question. That Prabhuji, while chanting, our mind goes here and there. Now he's asking for the benefit of new devotees people who have come. But because nobody is asking the question, the long-standing devotee is asking. Similarly, Arjuna, he knew the answer. But he asked this question for benefit of others.
Prabhuji,
So you see,
can we understand this way that even the Siddha Atmas don't know all about Krishna? Matlab, jitna, it's upon Krishna's will how much he wants the Siddhatmas also to understand Krishna.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that shows the difference between the eternal devotees of Krishna, Nitya Siddha, and also Krishna. There has to be some difference, no? Otherwise, what will be the difference between the liberated soul and Krishna? Right? So liberated soul does not know what all thing went on in the previous birth with them, but Krishna knows. Right? That is the difference. So here see Prabhupada is writing, Arjuna is an accepted devotee of the Lord. So how could he not believe Krishna's word? The fact is that Arjuna is not inquiring for himself, but for those who does not believe in Supreme Personality of Godhead, or for the demons who do not like the idea that Krishna should be accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For them only Arjuna inquires on this point, as if he were himself not aware of the personality of Godhead or Krishna. As it will be evident from the 10th chapter, Arjuna knew perfectly well that the Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the fountainhead of everything, and the last verse in transcendence. So Arjuna tells to Krishna in the 10th word, Param Dharma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, that you are the great person, you are the Supreme Lord. Arjuna tells. That means Arjuna knew Krishna is the Supreme Lord. But here he behaves as if he does not know and is asking, how do I know you gave this knowledge? Of course, Krishna also appeared as the son of Devaki on this earth. How Krishna remained the same Supreme Person of Godhead, the eternal original person, is very difficult for an ordinary man to understand. Because he's taking birth like a child. He's taking birth. We are seeing the transformation. But does his body transform? It's like our body transforms from birth to childhood to youth to adulthood to old age. Finally to death. These 6 transformations happen to our body. We see in Krishna's body also transformation happening. Not fully, not 6 transformation. Krishna takes birth, then he becomes a child. From childhood he goes to youth, and from youth to no adult. If youth in the astonishingly he remains youth, 20, 25 years. Even when during the battlefield around 90, he stayed for 125 years, right? And when the Mahabharata youth started, it was around 90 years. At that time, he had grandchildren, hundreds of sons. Each son had 10 children, right? He was grandfather. Still, he was always young boy. So you see, so the transformation looks like he's growing up. His body is growing up, but his body is not like our body, material body, changing transformation. Therefore, avyaya.
So,
Huh?
Prabhuji, can I ask this question?
Yeah, please.
If you say that this question he raised, knowing fully well the answer, but for the purpose of others' benefit, that means even his basic confusion that he indicated at the end of chapter 1 and beginning of chapter 2, that was also for the benefit of the rest of the humanity, is it? The confusion that he was in, that he's not ready to fight, he put down his bow and arrow, so all that is put on act.
No, it's not like he's putting on. It's just Krishna's yoga maya shakti, by which he covers his knowledge. He covers his knowledge and he acts as if he acts means he makes him act, Arjuna act, as if he's like a normal, ordinary person without any knowledge.
So that time he was actually confused in his mind whether he should be fighting this battle or not, isn't it?
Yeah, he's confused, yes.
But similarly, at the moment, in this chapter 4, in this moment also, he's confused.
He's under the influence of yoga maya.
It's only at chapter 10 that he comes out of yoga maya and therefore he realizes this. And therefore he calls him Param Power, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, where were we? That Krishna is the Supreme Personality, Supreme Authority is accepted by the whole world, not only at the present, but from the time immemorial, and the demons all alone reject him. Anyways, since Krishna is the authority accepted by, Arjuna put this question before him in order that Krishna would describe himself without being depicted by the demons who always try to distort him in the way understandable to the demons and their followers. It is necessary that everyone, for his own interest, know the signs of Krishna. Therefore, when Krishna himself speaks about himself, it is auspicious for all worlds. To the demons, such explanations by Krishna himself may appear to be strange because the demons always study Krishna from their own standpoint. But those who are devotees heartily welcome the statements of Krishna when they are spoken by Krishna himself. The devotees will always worship such authoritative statements of Krishna because they are always eager to know more about him. The atheists who consider Krishna as the ordinary man may in this way come to know that Krishna is superhuman, that he is Satchidanand Vigraha, the eternal form of bliss and knowledge, that he is a transcendental and that he is above the domination of the modes of material nature and above the influence of time and space. A devotee of Krishna like Arjuna is undoubtedly above any misunderstanding of the transcendental position of Krishna. Arjuna's putting this question before the Lord is simply an attempt by the devotee to defy the atheistic attitude of the person who considers Krishna to be an ordinary human being subject to the modes of material nature. So now, when the Lord is going to speak about his own glories, he should not be criticized as displaying conceit. Because he's going to say, later on now he'll be glorifying that about himself. Rather, he should be praised for having merciful nature. A person in knowledge may ask question like a fool, saying, you are a supreme Brahman, taking a Brahman form. How are your form, birth and activities different from those of ordinary people? What is the purpose of birth and when does it take place? It should be understood that this is for the purpose of dispelling the doubts of the ignorance. Therefore, now Krishna is going to speak from his own mouth the glories of his activities, birth, the eternal nature of his birth. As an answer to the doubt raised by Arjuna. How do I understand about your birth? Because your birth is current. So Krishna is now revealing about the nature of his birth. And what is this nature? Shri Bhagavan Vacha Bahuni me vyatitani जन्मानि तव च अर्जुन तानि हम वेद सर्वाणि न त्वं वेत्त परन्तप. Supreme Personality of Godhead said, many, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of enemy. In the Brahma Samhita, we have informed of many, many incarnations of the Lord. Brahma Samhita says, Advaitam achyutam anadi ananta rupam madhyam purana purusham navayovanam cha vedeshu durlabam atma bhakto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, who is the original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning, although expanded into unlimited form. He is still the same original, the oldest, the person, always appearing as fresh youth. Such eternal, blissful, all-knowing forms of the Lord are usually not understood by even the best Vedic scholars, but they are always manifest to pure, unalloyed devotees. He is the same original person, infallible, without beginning. Right? And how can one know? He has many, many births. Bahuni me vyatitani. I have taken many births. Unless he reveals. You see, can anybody know? Even his devotees won't know. What to speak of the demons without knowledge. So only by Krishna's revelation. So it is his mercy. Out of mercy is revealing. That shows his merciful nature. It is also stated in Brahma Samhita, Rama Dimurtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan Nana Avataram Akaroda Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, Govinda, who is always situated in various incarnations such as Ram, Narsimha, and many incarnations, sub-incarnations as well. But who is the original personality of Godhead and known as Krishna, and who incarnates personally also? So Krishna is the original person. He takes various forms. And he comes as himself also. He takes various forms, that is avatar, like Ram and Narsimha. Brahma Samhita says, no, Rama Adi Murtishu. Prabhupada is quoting. So Krishna comes as various forms, and he himself also comes within his own form, means that of Krishna. And these are all eternal forms. And he still remains the same person. He takes different form. Each form acts behave differently, but still the same person, original person. See, it is still original person. To understand things is difficult. In the Vedas also it is said that the Lord, although one, without second, manifests himself in innumerable forms. He is like a Vaidurya stone which changes color yet remains one. Have you seen Vaidurya stone? It is like every time it sees differently, color differently. Just to see like the cat's eye, you throw a torch, it will look different. From another point, it will look different. But still, not so many different facets can be seen. But in a Vaidurya stone, you can see every time different. So something like that. So he's like a Vaidurya stone which changes color yet still remains one. All those multi forms are understood by pure unalloyed devotees, but not by simple study of the Vedas. They are not understood by the simple study of the Vedas. Vedeshu durlabam atma bhakto. Devotees like Arjuna are constant companions of the Lord, and whenever the Lord incarnates, see, important, they are constant companion. Arjuna is a constant companion. Whenever Lord incarnates, the associate devotees also incarnate in order to serve the Lord in different capacities. Arjuna is one of these devotees, and in this verse it is understood that some millions of years ago, when the Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivaswan, Arjuna in the different capacity was also present. So Mataji, you asked the question, millions of years ago when Krishna also gave to the sun god. Prabhupada is telling here in this line, in this verse, it is understood that some millions of years ago, when Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivaswan, Arjuna in different capacity was also present. In different capacity was present. But the difference between the Lord and the Arjuna is that Lord remembered the incident, whereas Arjuna could not remember. That is the difference between the part and parcel living entity and the Supreme Lord. Although Arjuna is addressed herein as a mighty hero who could subdue the enemy, he is unable to recall what had happened in his previous past birth. Therefore, the living entity, however great he may be in material estimation, can never equal the Supreme Person. You see, Arjuna also came when Krishna came many years ago. He is also eternal. Arjuna is also eternal. Krishna is also eternal. What is the difference? Krishna remembers. Arjuna does not. And what to speak of us? Huh? Arjuna came in his eternal body. He has got eternal body like that of Krishna. We have material body. We have material body based on what? Why we got this body? So based on what? Our karma. Somebody got human body. Somebody got animal body. Somebody got Devata body in Swargloka. All because of karma. Arjuna, did he got body because of his karma? He is a pure devotee. He has got a transcendental body. Krishna is a Supreme Lord. He has got a transcendental body. So what is the difference between Arjuna and Krishna? Krishna remembers all the previous birth of Arjuna and Krishna. There is no change of the body. Right? Even in this body, we don't remember what all happened. Where were you at this time in yesterday? You'll have to scratch the brain to recall. What to speak of if I tell you 10 years, exactly this time, what were you doing? But Krishna knows everything. See, he's telling here, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacha Arjuna. Tani ham veda sarvani. Tani ham veda. Veda means no. That. Tani ham veda sarvani. Natam vetta parandapa. But you do not. That is the eternal nature of Krishna. That is the mystery of Krishna. Who can tell this? If not Krishna, can anybody tell this? So you see, so we can understand the Veda only by the mercy of Krishna. And what is the benefit of understanding this birth, eternal nature of Krishna? We'll also come to know. Right? So,
Prabhuji,
yes.
sorry, you said Arjuna has a transcendental body. So transcendental body means there is no difference between soul and the body. So
Yeah. Transcendental body means there is no difference between the soul and the body. Spiritual body. The body is spiritual.
So Arjuna has a transcendental body because he's a pure devotee of the Krishna.
Yes, he is just pure devotee.
Okay.
See, Prabhupada mentioned somewhere Nitya Siddha. I will show you that. It will come in some purport. We'll go to the purport. It will come. Okay? Okay, where were we? Yeah. Arjuna is one of these. But the difference between that is the difference between the part and parcel. Therefore, the living entity, however great he may be, in the material estimation, can never equal the Supreme Lord. Anyone who is constant companion of the Lord is certainly a liberated person, but he cannot be equal to Lord. The Lord is described in Brahma Samhita as infallible, Achyuta, which means that he never forgets himself even though he is in material contact. He never forgets himself. Therefore, the Lord and the living entity can never be equal in all respects. Even if the living entity is liberated as Arjuna. Although Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, he sometimes forgets the nature of the Lord, but by divine grace, a devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord. whereas a non-devotee or a demon cannot understand this transcendental nature. Consequently, this description in the Gita cannot be understood by demoniac brains. Krishna remembered acts which were performed by him millions of years before, but Arjuna could not, despite the fact that both Krishna and Arjuna are eternal in nature. We may also note herein that a living entity forgets everything due to the change of the body. But the Lord remembers everything because he does not change his Satchidananda body. He is Advaita, which means there is no distinction between his body and himself. Everything in relation to him is spirit, whereas the conditioned soul is different from his material body. And because the Lord's body and the self are identical, his position is always different from that of the ordinary living entity. Even when he descends to the material platform, the demons cannot adjust themselves to this transcendental nature of the Lord, which the Lord himself explains in the following verse. So Lord comes in the same self body. He does not change his body. Now you may say that, but he's changing. I can see his body being changed from childhood to youth. How do we understand that? Prabhupada used the example of a sun. You see, early morning sun is born. We say, no, sun is born early morning. And then you see the color changes, right? And then sun sets. But what exactly, if you see the sun is always moving around. Sun is always there, self-same, nothing has changed. But what we see, when it comes in front of us, we see that, oh, he is born. Then he is growing. And then he sets. That's change in our, because of our sight, we are seeing that. But actually, sun is always as is, right? Somewhere else you see sun is looking same bright. But because to us it appears like that. But he's not changing. But he appears like that. So can you imagine? He's same self Lord, but his body appears like this. Like a Vaidurya stone. So that is how it is. Okay. Next verse. Ajo api san avyatma bhutanam ishvaro api san prakritin swamadhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Ajaha api, ajanma, मेरा जन्म नहीं होता है. Ajaha api, although I am unborn, bhutanam ishvaro api san. I am the Lord of all the bhutanam, of all the people. Bhutanam ishvaro api san. Prakritim swam adhisthaya. I am born from my own prakriti, from my own swabha, my own nature. Prakritim swam, from my own eternal body. Prakritim swam adhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Sambhavami atma mayaya. By my internal energy, actually by my own mercy. Because if my energy, then if you say energy, then even material energy is his energy. So is his body of a material energy? No. Right? There's no difference between his body. It's a Satchidananda body. Right? So when we say here, Prabhupada mentions in the last para, the word Maya or Atma Maya refers to the Lord's causeless mercy according to Vishwa Kosha dictionary. So he appears to show his mercy to the living entity. Sambhavami Atma Maya. I, out of mercy for the living being, I, out of mercy, accept this birth, and the self same body I am born. So the Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of his birth. Although he may appear like an ordinary man, he remembers everything of his many, many births. Whereas the common man cannot remember what he has done even a few hours before. If someone is asked what he did exactly the same time one day earlier, it would be very difficult for a common man to answer immediately. You would surely have to dredge his memory to recall what he was doing exactly at the time one day before. And yet, men often dare claim to be the God or Krishna. So, if somebody says, he's a Krishna or God, tell him what that person did 10 years ago. If somebody calls no God, कलयुग में मिनी इंकारनेशन कम है, भगवान के बहुत अवतार आते हैं. One should not be misled by such meaningless claims. Then again, the Lord explains his prakriti or form. Prakriti means nature as well as swarup, one's own form. The Lord says that he appears in his own body. He does not change his body. As a common living entity changes from one body to another, the conditioned soul may have one kind of body in present birth, but he has different body in the next birth. In the material world, the living entity has no fixed body but transmigrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. Whenever he appears, he does so in the same original body. By his internal potency. In other words, Krishna appears in this material world in his original eternal form. The two hands holding the flute, he appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by this material world. Although he appears in the self transcendental body and is Lord of the universe, it still appears that he takes his birth like an ordinary living entity. And although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, it still appears that the Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood, from boyhood to youth. But astonishingly, even he never ages beyond youth. At the time of battle of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home. Or in other words, he had sufficiently aged by material calculation. Still, he looked like a young man, 20 or 25 years old. We never see a picture of Krishna in an old age because he never grows old like us. Although he is the oldest person in the whole creation, past, present, and future, neither his body nor his intelligence ever deteriorate or changes. See, Krishna's body, Krishna's memory, Krishna's intelligence never deteriorates. Self, and there's no difference. Just like our body and the soul is different. Our soul is non-deteriorable. But our body is, our mind is, intelligence is. But Krishna's mind, body, and intelligence and soul, there's no difference. Self. Therefore, it is clear, in spite of his being in the material world, he is the self, unborn, eternal form of bliss and knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. Actually, his appearance and disappearance are like suns rising, moving before us, and then disappearing from our eyesight. See, he compares, actually, his appearance and disappearance are like suns rising, moving before us, and then disappearing from our eyesight. When the sun is out of sight, we think that the sun is set. And when the sun is before our eyes, we think that the sun is on the horizon. So when Krishna is taking birth, we say, oh, Krishna ne janma liya. Devaki ke ghar se janma liya. But Krishna is always there. Like the sun, oh, sun has born. Now sun is setting, but sun is always there. Actually, the sun is always in the fixed position. By owing to our defective insufficient senses, we calculate the appearance and disappearance of sun in the sky. And because Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are constantly different from that of an ordinary common living entity, it is evident that he is eternal blissful knowledge by his internal potency and is never contaminated by material nature. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Personality of God is unborn and yet he still appears to take his birth in multi-manifestations. The Vedic supplementary literatures also confirm that even though the Lord appears to be taking his birth, he is still without change of body. In the Bhagavatam, he appears before his mother as Narayan with 4 hands and decorations of the 6 kinds of full opulences. His appearance in his original eternal form is his causeless mercy bestowed upon the living entity so that they can concentrate on the Supreme Lord as he is and not on the mental concoctions or imaginations which the impersonally strongly thinks the Lord forms to be. You see, his appearance is his causeless mercy. Why? Because we can focus. See, we see the form, the picture of Krishna. We are seeing, right? Picture of Krishna. Or in Vrindavan, we have seen the forms of Krishna deity. Like each form Radha Raman, we have seen, right? And it is said that Krishna looked exactly like him. His hands, his legs, his face. So how do we know? Because the devotees we have seen, they have carved the deities. So Krishna comes so that people can see him, right? Can imagine about him. Therefore Krishna comes. Otherwise, if nobody has seen Krishna, then if somebody is asked to draw a god, how they will make? When Prabhupada initially told some foreigner to draw, what kind of that devotee drew the photo of Krishna, big muscles, something like that MRF टायर का एक एडवर्टाइजमेंट आता था ऐसा एकदम ऐसा ऐसा बॉडी बिल्डर और ऐसा मेहनत से वो कुछ उठा रहा है. So he drew something. Krishna is like big bodybuilder and all. Prabhupada said that no need. He can remain pleasant, beautiful, and still so powerful. So though he is like ancient person, still he need not be like looking old. He's ever youth, ever fresh.
Prabhuji, so
Yes.
here again he says actually the sun is always in its fixed position. So now this I think is the right
No,
situation.
don't consider the sun in his fixed position means that he is not moving. It is not mentioned that. Prabhupada don't mean to see that, right? In his fixed position, right? That's like now, the sun. So for us, sun is being born or sun is being set, right? We see that, but the sun is always there in that position. It is just like from our vision, he is going out. From our vision, he is going out. So we see as sun is being set and sun is being born, right? But he is the same. He is the similar. But that does not mean rule out that he is not moving.
But that's what he's saying, that it's actually
No,
it is
no, no.
fixed
That
and
is not. No, no, no. That is not to be. The focus is not on the. You cannot take an example and stretch it to prove something else. You cannot stretch it to prove something else. So here, what is given is for us to see that his form is not changing. Sun's form is not changing. Though it appears from our eyes, his form is not changing. This example is not given to prove that sun is not moving around.
it's a little confusing, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Okay.
can I say something? Can I say
Yeah,
something?
please. Yeah, please.
Anu Prabhuji, you will always be Anu Prabhuji, whether you are born, you're in different stages of your life. Your body is changing, but you are Anu. That means Prabhuji वही बोलना चाहते हैं कि sun appears to be seen to us and setting to us, but sun is there in its original state. हमको वो ऐसा दिख रहा है कि वो सेट हो रहा है और उग रहा है. So, for example, you are Anup in all the stages of your life. आप छोटे थे, बच्चे थे, जवान थे, young थे, अभी aged हो रहे हैं. So you are Anup you are fixed as an Anup, but your body is changing. Similarly, हम जो sun को देखते हैं, the sun is setting and rising, and in the afternoon होता है, evening होता है. It appears like that, but sun का position is fixed. It means that, Prabhuji. I hope you understand.
No, I have fully understood you. My basic doubt is whether the sun rotates around the earth or earth rotates around the sun. I think Mataji, have you got my question?
Yes, it's both the way, Prabhuji. Even the sun rotates and the
the
earth also rotates around its axis.
That is what we've studied, no? But now, in the previous verse, when it was said that it's the sun which is rotating, that is where the doubt is.
Wait, Prabhu, sun is revolving.
Okay, rotating or revolving, same thing.
Rotating means rotating around its own axis.
Axis, okay.
And revolving means it's revolving around the earth.
So, are you saying that the sun is revolving around the earth as per Bhagavatam, Prabhuji?
That's what Bhagavatam says, Prabhu.
This
Okay, now I can understand it's
totally
difficult
totally different from what one has learnt, and I thought
Okay,
it was a very established scientific fact, you know.
That's how it is, Prabhu.
Okay, okay,
I'll send you some videos. I'll send you
right.
some videos
Okay.
about the Vedic cosmology about this rotation.
Yeah, that will be interesting to watch, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hmm?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. The word Maya refers to the Lord's causeless mercy according to Vishwa Kosha dictionary. The Lord is conscious of all his previous appearance and disappearance, but the common living entity forgets everything about his past body as soon as he gets another body. He is the Lord of all living entities because he performs wonderful and superhuman activities while he is on the earth. Therefore, the Lord is always the same absolute truth and is without differentiation between his form and self, or between his quality and the body. A question may now be raised as to why the Lord appears and disappears in this world. That is explained in the next verse. So, Sambhavami Atma Maya. So, he appears in his self body. Now, the question may appear why he takes birth, right? So, this is mentioned in the verse number 7. Please repeat after me. Yada yada hi dharmasya ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम धर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious principle or descendant of Bharata and the predominant rise of the religion, at that time I descend myself. The word Sajami is significant here. Sajami cannot be used in the sense of creation because according to the previous verses, there is no creation of Lord's body or form. Since all the forms are eternally existent, therefore Saja means the Lord manifests himself. So he is not creating new form, he is just manifesting what is there. In the spiritual world, whatever is there, he incarnates. All the Lord appears on the schedule, namely at the end of the Dwapar Yuga and the 20th millennium of the 7th Manu in the one day of Brahma. See, here it is mentioned. Although the Lord appears on the schedule, namely at the end of Dwapar Yuga of the 20th millennium of the 7th Manu in one day of Brahma. Right? He has no obligation to adhere to such rules and regulations. ठीक है ना? He appears on the 20th because he is completely free to act in the way he wants, in many ways as his will. He therefore appears by his own will whenever there is a predominance of irreligiosity and the disappearance of the true religion. So, dharmasya glani, whenever there is a deterioration of the principles of religion. Principles of religions are laid down in the Vedas, and any discrepancy in the matter of the properly executing the rules of the Vedas make one irreligious. Last paragraph, the principles of Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna and for that matter to other highly elevated person because he was highly advanced compared to the ordinary persons in order in other parts of the world. The higher principles of the religion begin with the acceptance of the fourth order and the four status of social life, as will be explained later. The whole purpose of the mission of the incarnation is to arouse. Yeah, this line is very important. The whole purpose of the mission of incarnation is to arouse the Krishna consciousness everywhere. Such consciousness is manifest and non-manifest only under different circumstances. Why it takes multifarious incarnations? To arouse Krishna consciousness everywhere. So dharmasya glani bhavati, then, and when there is a deterioration, at that time he appears. Paritranaya sadhunam विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम् धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. Now somebody may say that अरे धर्म की स्थापना करना है तो आपके devotees are also good enough. Your devotees are also good enough, na? Prabhupada came and established the dharma. What is the need of Lord to come? One nice devotee and he can give dharma. I know he can preach. What is the need for the Lord to come? Why it is mentioned? Dharmasya glanir and abhyuthanama dharmasya tadat nama shajamyam. So Krishna says that yes, my devotee can, whomever I empower or my devotees can give dharma, knowledge. I need not come. But still I come. Why? Paritranaya sadhuna. Paritrana sadhana. So all the sadhus who are putting lot of efforts, they wish to see me. Huh? They want to see me. So paritranaya sadhuna. Vinashaya cha dushkrita. For those who are demons. But Lord can empower any Kshatriya and they can smash. But there are certain demons which even the great personality cannot smash. Example, Ravan, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa. For that Lord himself comes. Because they are special demons, nobody can defeat, right? उत्पात मचा दिया था उन्होंने ब्रह्मा से लेके सबको. So then for such demons, Lord comes. Vinashaya cha duskritam, and then dharma samsthapanarthaya. But dharma, any empowered soul can. But Krishna says this dharma is very special. To give this dharma of pure love of Godhead. Pure love of Godhead, which Krishna himself can only give. The love which Radharani has for Krishna, who can give? Love which Radharani has for Krishna, Krishna only can give. So Krishna took the form of Radharani, the mood of Radharani, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he comes. So at times, Lord himself comes. Why? Because certain things are not done by his devotee, cannot be done. Only he can do. Therefore, Paritranaya, for this reason, for these three reasons he comes. So in order to deliver them from his suffering, of whom? His devotees. By showing his attractive form. And then he appears to destroy the evil deeds, duskritam, like a person like Ravan and Kamsa who torment my devotees who cannot be killed by anyone except him. And also appear to spread dharma. Ninth verse. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah yakta deham punarjanma naiti mameti swarjuna. Somebody please read translation.
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
So, liberation is very difficult to attain by the numerous endeavors, like thousands of practices, Nishkam Karma Yoga, then Dhyan Yoga, and then understanding Super Soul, and finally Bhakti Yoga, and so Krishna says that let it become easy, available to my exclusive devotees through hearing about my birth and activities. Let it become easy for my devotees just by hearing the birth and activities. ठीक है ना? Krishna wants to make it very simple. So Krishna says, I appear in this world for this purpose also. Previously, as mentioned, yada yada dharmasya and then paritranaya sadhuna. One more reason. Just by trying to understand how Krishna's birth and activities, one will get liberated. Just by hearing about his Leela, get liberated. So Janma Karma cha mein, if it's incidental, his birth is not ordinary. Just like we saw people having ordinary birth. But does Krishna has ordinary birth? No, he is beyond the gunas. He is the creator of everyone. So he cannot be created by these worldly things. Janma
Prabhuji,
karma evam divyam. Evam, in this way, yaha vyakti, one who understands tattvataha, tattva, in truth, in principle, one who understands this. That person also, vyakta deham, giving up this body. Does that mean giving up this body only? Then he will come to know? No, even in this body also. Acharya say, though it is mentioned, vyakta deva, punarjanma naiti mam yati sorjan. So after this birth, after this death, he will take another body and he will never come back. Right? Mamiti, he will come to me. But even in this body, he will be liberated. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, not just hearing the Leelas, but we have to have faith also in that Leelas. Yes, it was done by Krishna and Krishna is like that. Faith
Of
is also
course.
required.
Hearing means what? Who will hear about Krishna? If somebody who has faith, na? Huh?
Not necessary, Prabhuji.
Huh?
Not necessary.
Yeah, if somebody hears without faith, then how it will affect?
Yeah, that's what my
It will
question
still
is.
affect, huh? If somebody keeps hearing, even without faith, even that I want to hear, that will purify because he's hearing Krishna's pastime.
Even without faith.
No, see, it's not without faith. So initially it is without faith. So when we started hearing, do we had faith in Krishna? Did we know that who Krishna is? But somebody just comes and hears. So what we tell to the people? Trust on Krishna. We just say, you come and hear Bhagavad. You don't believe in God? Okay, no problem. You just come and hear. We say like this, na? We are all faithless. Slowly, faith comes. Right? So I'm not saying that somebody who can hear. I'm not saying that somebody who can hear faith is somebody hears faithlessly, then he will be liberated. No, faith is needed. But then the faith comes slowly. You know? Faith comes slowly and it builds up. So you're right, faith is needed. One has to hear with faith. You know? Because only with faith one can accept or one can appreciate, you know, about the Krishna's birth and activities. Now, why Krishna's birth and activities is mentioned? You see the flow now. See, we were in Nishkam Karma Yoga. And suddenly we are coming to Krishna's birth and activity. So now there will be a transmission from Krishna's birth and activity to the Nishkam Karma Yoga. Why? Because Krishna is telling anybody who knows this, my birth and activity, he'll get liberated. Then in the next line, next in the verse number 13, he says that Chaturvarna Maya system Guna Karma Vivagasha Tasya Kartaram Api Ma Vidya Kartaram Api, that I am the creator of 4 Varna and 4 ashramas. Krishna is beyond the Varnas and ashram. He's not a Kshatriya, he's not a, though he plays a role of a Kshatriya when he's born in Mathura, and when he's in Vrindavan, he plays a role of a Vaishya, Nanda Maharaj son, but he's not the. So Krishna says that Chaturvarna Maya system, Guna Karma Vivagasham, Tasya Kartaram, even I am the Karta, I am the doer. Vidya Kartaram. See, understand, I am not the doer. So you see, he is telling his birth and activities are all like, and he's transcendental. So he is not affected by this. And he creates the system. He creates the nature. Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra. System, not the nature. He says that who can be Kshatriya, who has this particular nature? He is the Kshatriya. He is a Brahmana. He is that. And Krishna says he is transcendental to all this. So he's telling his nature. I am beyond all this. Right? And then he says, I am the creator of all this world. Right? He's creator. He creates the Kshatriya, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and all the standard he creates. But he says that although I am a creator, I am not a Tasya kartaram apya vidhi akartam. Still I am not a doer. I am a creator, but still I am not a doer. Means what? How do we understand? Means I created, but I created through my energy. मैंने किसी को बोला करने को, and I empowered. Is without my power, he will not create. Just like Mukesh Ambani, he comes and says, okay, take to some managers, CEOs, and he says, okay, you, new company, this, Reliance only. You are the CEO, money, start. He does it. Who does? Who did? Did Mukesh Ambani did? His company, no, now. He has given money, he has selected CEO, right? And he empowered him. Name is, owner is Mukesh Ambani. Did Mukesh Ambani did? Through somebody, through his agency. But it is his company. It's, without him, it's not possible. So Krishna also does it. But he's not karta. He's not a doer also. So in this, he is the doer. He created, but he's not. So then Krishna is telling by this, similarly, you should act in this way. You should act as if like you are doing it. But the results, without thinking you are the doer, without attachment to the result. Because Krishna is empowering that person. Arjuna just have to act without attachment, without proprietorship, without ownership. So that's how Nishkam Karma Yoga. So that's how Krishna is bringing. So one is about the eternal nature of his pastime, and just hearing about the eternal nature of the pastime, one will get liberated. In the sense, faith is needed, and then second, if one understands this nature, that how Krishna is acting, does he has to act? Why is he acting? He has a desire that he wants to see people suffer in this world? No. Still he is acting detached to it. He just creates the system. Is he responsible for the suffering of the people? People act as a Kshatriya Brahmana, right? And Krishna gives the result. For Kshatriya, this is the result. For a Brahmana, this is the result. System is created by Krishna. People are getting body because of their desires. They desire. Based on their nature, they get the body of a Kshatriya, and they perform the activity. Is Krishna responsible? No. Does Krishna get anything out of by creating this system? No. He just did it. So Krishna is not attached. So similarly, we should perform our duty without any desire. Krishna has no desire to create this material world. Did Krishna create this material for his enjoyment? When people suffer, the people say that, oh, masta maja kar raha hai. And we are suffering here. We are suffering because of what? Because of our desire. We enjoy separately. Krishna is not responsible for that. Though he is the doer, still he is not responsible. That is the theme which is going on. So right now when he's saying, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yovyati tattva datvekta deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. He's telling that this liberation becomes very easy for the devotees just by hearing about my birth and activity. And who will hear continuously? Some faith will be needed, na? One time, okay, second time, but continuously who will read? Understand? Because to understand the nature of pastime of Krishna, one has to put his mind, intelligence, analyze. It's not easy. It's tapasya. Right? So without faith, nobody can hear actually. So faith is needed, of course. And who will continue without faith? Will somebody do without any faith or... So faith is needed. Yes? But initially, it's okay. Somebody comes, person who hears about Krishna will get purified, and slowly that faith will come. And then with faith, one hears, then will be more progress. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. So, what is that? Evam janma karma cha me divyam. So, having this, he should further more have firm faith, right? He should furthermore have the firm faith. Yo vetti tattvataha. So, this shows that he should have a faith. Tattvataha. That, what faith he should have? That my birth and activities are spiritual. That faith should be there. That is, Krishna's birth and activities are spiritual. So, janma karma cha me divyam. So, that faith is needed. Janma karma cha me divyam. That Krishna's birth and activities are transcendental. They are divyam. They are spiritual. They are not ordinary like us. So, that faith is, of course, needed on the words of Krishna. So, janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvata. One who understands this, tattvataha. Tyaktadeham punarjanma. That person does not, upon giving up this body, take birth. So yes, Mataji, firm faith is needed. Unless that firm faith is not there, one cannot go back to Godhead. Verse 10. Vitaraga bhayakroda manmanaya mamupashrita bahavo jnana tapasa uta madbhava agata. So Krishna is telling, just as in the present time, in the past also many persons gained liberation by knowing the eternal nature of my birth and activities. So Lord speaks to confirm the eternal nature of his birth and activities in this world, saying that not only in the past, not only in the present, but even in the past, people who have purified. Vita raga bhaya krodha. So without attachment, bhaya and krodha, man maya mam upashrita. So giving up attachment, fear, anger towards those having faith only in me, mam upashrita, serving me wholeheartedly. Many persons purified, puta, purified by what? The purified by the austerity of attaining true knowledge of my birth and activities. Right? Because puta mad bhava. So bhavo jnana tapasa. So there is a tapasya in understanding about Krishna. That Lord's birth and activities are divya. It's austerity, no? You have to come, hear, read. It's austerity. It's not easy. Otherwise, people may have so many things to do. In the heat, all heat, they are coming and sitting and understanding. So there is austerity needed. So therefore, purified by that austerity, puta, mad bhava agata. Then they attain Krishna. So bhavo jnana tapasa. So this tapasya of what? Jnana, of receiving this knowledge about Krishna. But there will be so many obstacles in understanding this. Because this knowledge of my eternal birth and activities arises only by the analysis of different Shruti passages. It is called an austerity. And austerity can refer to the suffering arising in the removal of bad arguments and opposing ideas. There will be bad arguments. Outside people will give the arguments. But still, one removes the bad arguments by the austerity. Being purified of that removal of bad ideas, cleansed of ignorance, many people attain prema for me. That is Krishna. Or attain existence, bhavam, with me, direct association with me, Krishna. What type of people are they? These peoples had given up the attraction to the fear of and hatred of those who are opposed to the eternities of the Lord's birth, because they were completely engaged in serving me with a faith in me alone. Man maya, mam upashita. So being attached, freed from the attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past being purified of me. Thus they have attained transcendental love. Prabhupada says, one has to get rid of the three stages of attachment on this material world. Negligence of spiritual life, fear of spiritual personal identity, and the conception of void that arises from the frustration in life. To get free from these three stages of material concept of life, one has to take the complete shelter of the Lord, guided by the bona fide spiritual master, and follow the disciplines and regulative principles of devotional life. The last stage of devotional life is called bhava, or transcendental love. So ado shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, bhav and prem. So ado shraddha, some faith is needed in the initial. Then with that shraddha, sadhu sangha, and then anartha nivritti, bhajan kriya will start, anartha nivritti will happen. So the more the anartha nivritti, ruchi will increase, and then shraddha will increase. With that shraddha, the more sadhu sangha, then bhajan, more bhajan. In that way, shraddha at each step will increase, bhajan will increase, sadhu sangha will increase, and finally bhav and prem will come. Now Lord has different form. So many people, they worship Lord in a different form, na? Right? So does all lead to the same path? So Krishna is answering. Ye yatamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamiham mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashah. Please read translation.
As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects.
Yeah. So Krishna says, I respond to the persons according to the manner and mood in which they surrender to me. O son of Pita, all blessed men follow this various path of worship of me, the one Lord. So everyone follows Supreme Lord. Somebody may follow through Karma Yoga, somebody may through Jnana Yoga, somebody may through Dhyana Yoga, somebody may through Bhakti Yoga. But ultimately, everybody is following what? Krishna. But does all path lead to Krishna? At the end, yes. All these paths lead to Krishna also. Right? And Krishna reciprocates as per one's surrender. Right? If somebody is a Jnani, if a Jnani, what is his goal? What is he achieving? What he wants? He wants knowledge. He's speculating. What he thinks about Krishna? Krishna is light. Or maybe Krishna is the super soul. He does not know only Krishna. He thinks that everything is Brahman. And Krishna gives him what? Impersonal Brahman. Isn't it? And somebody who's meditating on super soul, a yogi is meditating on super soul. And Krishna reveals to him what? He reveals to him a child hand like form of Krishna? No. Because that person wants the revelation of super soul. Krishna exhibits himself in the form of a all-pervading super soul. So based on one's mood and way of worship, Krishna reciprocates. Is there any partiality? No. But if a devotee of Krishna who surrenders completely to Krishna and wants to see that beautiful form of Krishna, what will Krishna do? And he wants to take part in the Leela, and what will Krishna do? Chal mere son, karo Leela. And Krishna Leela are unlimited, enjoyable. So Krishna reciprocates to the devotee. जैसे कोई राजा के पास आया, राजा सेठ मांग, तुमको जो मांगना है. एक आके बोला मुझे एक गांव दे दो, एक आके बोला मुझे 1000 गाय चाहिए, सब दे दे. एक बोला मुझे बंगलो चाहिए, राजा ने सब देते क्या. एक आया और बोला मुझे आपका फ्रेंडशिप चाहिए. रहता किधर है? अरे झोपड़ी में. अरे ऐसा मेरा फ्रेंड और झोपड़ी में, अरे इसको एक महल बना दो. आता कैसे है? अरे चल के आता. अरे नहीं, मेरा जैसा रथ, मेरा फ्रेंड है, मेरी इक्वल होना चाहिए. बैठता किसके साथ है? वो टपरी पे बैठता है. नहीं, अभी मेरा फ्रेंड है, मेरे साथ उठेगा, बैठेगा. See, everything he got. Now that राजा पार्शियल गया. उन्हें बोला जो मांगो दूंगा मैं. Whoever asked me, I gave him. As one surrenders, I just gave. मम वर्तमानु वर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वस. कांक्षता कर्मणा सिद्धिं यजन्त ह्य देवता क्षिप्रमिमानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा.
Men in this world desire success in positive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from positive work in this world.
Yeah. So now there is a shift towards Nishkam Karma Yoga. In this verse, Lord speaks about the rarity of such practitioners. So, there is a great misconception, Prabhupada writes, about the gods or the demigods of this material world, and the men of the less intelligent, the men of less intelligence, although passing as a great scholar, take these demigods to be the various forms of the Supreme Lord. Now you see, Lord has multifarious forms, right? But these demigods are not the forms of Krishna. These demigods, Devi Devata, are they the forms of Krishna? No, they are part and parcel of Krishna. We are the part and parcel of Krishna, right? We are not the forms of Krishna. Like Rama and Narsimha, they are the various forms of Krishna, right? So worshipping Krishna and worshipping the form and the part and parcel of Krishna, that is different, right? All the path leads to Krishna means what? At the end, right? Slowly. But end up with what they want from Krishna. Following particular path, right? But path systematically leads to what? Search for Krishna only. End is to reach Krishna only. But if somebody who is worshipping the demigod with a desire to gain separately from the demigod, will they get Krishna? Get Krishna. Because they never desired Krishna. They approach the various forms who are the part and parcel of Krishna, right? If they think that these are the forms of God only, सब कुछ एक ही कृष्णा को ही जाता है, किसकी भी भक्ति करो, गणेश जी की करो, शिव जी की करो, अल्टीमेटली वो कृष्ण की होती है. Are they correct? No. They don't know that these are different. These personalities are different from Krishna. They are not the forms of Krishna. Then why they worship such forms? Kankshata karmanam siddhim, or success in the fruitive activities. Yajante iha devata, they worship other demigods. Shiprami manushe loke, Shipram, very soon. Siddhir bhavati karmaja, their desire gets fulfilled. Why? Because if somebody comes to Krishna and they want to approach Krishna, Krishna says, I see how I work with detachment. I have nothing to gain in this world. Still I work. Detached. Similarly, you should work. Nishkam karma without detachment. So that I will be pleased. Huh? Difficult है ना? बट देवी देवता की भाई इतना अनुष्ठान कर लो, हम पट स्वाहा मारो और क्या चाहिए लेके जाओ, है ना? 11 सोमवार करो, ये देवी खुश, अपना काम भी खत्म. इजी ना? सो कृष्णा इज टेलिंग. So men in this world desire success in fruitive activities and therefore they worship the demigods. So anybody who is worshipping the demigods, they have desires. Which desires? Fruitive activities. And therefore they worship demigods. Quickly, of course, the men get results from fruitive work in this world. They get results.
Prabhuji, you
Yes.
said we worship demigods, okay, to gain something. Like if we do not return them, then we will not lead to. It will not lead to Krishna. It will not. This path will not lead to Krishna if we don't return them.
Sorry, come
Whatever we
again.
get. So if we
Sorry.
get something, we do not return to the demigods, then this will not lead to Krishna. Is that so? If we return them in the form of yaga and all, then they will take us to the Krishna.
No, I am not saying that. Krishna says that those who worship demigods, they worship because they have fruitive desires and by worshipping the demigods, the desire gets immediately fulfilled. Therefore, they worship demigods.
They should return also to the demigods, na?
Where it is mentioned, they should return to the demigods. Previously, it was mentioned that system which Devan Deva Anti, not Devan, Deva Bhavayantate, Te Deva Bhavayantuva. Means if somebody worships the demigod, offers that yagya, right, and they follows this for the pleasure of Krishna, then that is a yagya, proper yagya. Because they know that this demigod and part and parcel of Krishna. And they perform that particular activity for that particular purpose. Like they know that Indra is the demigod who is responsible for rain, and some farmer performs that activity so that he could get the rain for his farming. Then that is one kind of yagya. But a person who does not know that these demigods are part and parcel of Krishna, or they are the created by Krishna and empowered by Krishna, but they think that this demigod is what everything for me, and I have this desire to fulfill. They can fulfill, and they approach. Such are the fruitive workers.
That is
Karma kanda.
intention. Intention matters. What is the intention in doing yajna? That is a
Yes,
matter.
yes.
Okay.
Intention in doing yajna. Yes. So here, reason is given why people worship demigods, because they want their desires to be fulfilled immediately. But when it and they do not approach Krishna, why? To approach for Krishna's bhakti, you have to be na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Huh? See, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Kavitam ma jagadisha kaye, kamaye. Not big pracharak. Mama janmani janmani ishware. Just want to please you, Krishna. Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tumha. It's difficult, na? So people don't. Now Krishna is telling in 13th verse, Chaturvarnaya maya system guna karma vibhagashah tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram avyayam. Read.
According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable.
I am the not doer. Though I am the doer, I created, but I am the not doer. Why is not doer? Because he's not attached. It's not his desire to create. He's impartial. Otherwise, people will say, see, अपने डिवोटीज को अपने घर पे लेके जाता है और बाकी को सस्ते में निपटाता है. पार्शियलिटी हुई ना. But he is saying, नहीं बाबा, I have no prejudice to any person. I am somehow, I am equal to everyone. Though I created this system, I am still non-doer. Why? Because I have not created for my pleasure. I just created so to give the people a chance, because the purpose of all this four varna and ashram is to come to Krishna. Right? So person particular having particular desire, right? And if they follow the rules and regulations of that particular particular varna, right? And offer it to me, because Krishna says any varna should be satisfying Krishna, right? Then slowly, their nature, their desire will also get fulfilled based on the nature of the Kshatriya. And at the end, they will get what? Krishna. So you see, Prabhupada mentions somewhere here the divisions, middle. Human society is similar to any other animal society. In the middle, it is mentioned. But to elevate men from the animal status, the above mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for systematic development of Krishna consciousness. For systematically development of Krishna consciousness. See, the tendency of a particular man toward work is determined by the modes of material nature which he has acquired. Such symptoms of life according to different modes of material nature are described in the 18th chapter. So every person has somebody wants to be heroic. Just like current 2-3 days, one very heroic person आता और जो देखता है वो सामने वाला उसका प्लेयर बोलता है, he does not see the bowler. कितना भी हो, वो बस ठोकने में रहता है. 15 साल का बच्चा. What is his nature? What is the nature? Kshatriya, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. अरे सरनेम ही सूर्यवंशी है. सूर्यवंशी, you see, sun god, जहाँ पे राम जी आए. Typically, what is the nature? Kshatriya. है ना, देखो ना, we need this guts to, ऐसा आके किसी भी बॉल पे बड़े बड़े इसके आके बॉल पे वो मार रहा है. Not possible. What is that nature? Nature ना. तो is that Krishna's desire? That person का वो nature है, तो वो nature लेके आ गया. ऐसा कुछ करने का वो nature है, मारने को heroic. अभी वो तो बोलता है कि नहीं, पप्पा मम्मी को श्रेय जाता है, और मैं सोचता नहीं हूँ, मैं देखता भी नहीं हूँ सोशल मीडिया की लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं, बस गेम खेलने का है, जीतने का है, मैं जो यही बोल रहता है. दे आर ट्रेन्ड ना, जस्ट विन द मैच, प्ले फ्रीली, है ना. बट दैट नेचर इज देयर ना, क्षत्रिय टू बी हीरोइक, ठोकने का, है ना, जब पीछे देखने का नहीं, ऐसा नहीं, डर नहीं रहता उसमें. डर नहीं रहता. So that is the nature. So this is a system Krishna has created. Now, purpose. See, the purpose, the division is created by the Lord. Systematically development of Krishna. The tendency of a particular man towards the work is determined by the modes. So that person has a mode. Passion. Combination of passion. When the passion is there, then that person becomes Kshatriya. You see? So when that person utilizes that nature in that particular activity as a Kshatriya in protection, right? Then his nature is also given, usko bhi milega. And then if that person dedicates to the Supreme Lord, I do it for your pleasure, and he worships Supreme Lord. So he has a nature. He utilizes that nature in Kshatriya spirit, Tokam Thaki. Of course, he could have been better in the army actually. But people have given value to the cricket and he has landed up there. And he has got that skill and he is being showing, and that is how he's become popular. But actually Krishna has made the system that a Kshatriya can be well utilized for service of the Lord in the form of protecting, right, in the battlefield. So if he performs that for the pleasure of Krishna, then that nature is utilized in particular nature, in the particular ashram and that varna, which gives expansion for his nature, right, based on his desire, and then at the end he gets Krishna also, if he does in that, right. So Krishna, he has created. Now Krishna is telling, see, I created this char varna, but I am akartara. Why? Because he has not done for his pleasure. He just created an now Maya system. Does that, so the system does not only means creating, he is also the maintainer and destroyer. Why is the maintainer? Because he himself comes and follows. Is he supposed to do that? He's beyond, but he follows. Huh? So you see, I create, maintain and destroy everything in the material universe, from Brahma to inanimate object. Right? Know that although I am the cause of creation, maintenance and destruction, I am not the cause, because separated from my action. This means that I am devoid of prejudice to all this action. Though I am the creator, I do not deviate from my impartiality, avyaya, that is avyaya, in regard to the objects of my creation. Huh? He does not have a prejudice or to somebody. Okay, chalo bhai, main tera friend hu, you become like this. No, he just creates the system. And then 14th, which shows Krishna really tells that I have nothing to do with this. Namam karmani limpanti, name karma phale spruha, iti mam yo bhijanati, karma bhi na sabhadyate. Please read.
There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of world.
Namam karmani limpanti. Limpanti. So I do not get affected or contaminated. Why? Because people in this, every work that you perform, there is a reaction, isn't it? Now Krishna is the creator, maintainer and destructor of what? Chaturvarna system, which is actually meant for the people's liberation. So Krishna created. But Krishna is now telling, Namam karman limpanti. I do not get affected or contaminated by that. Why I am not contaminated? Name karmas phule spraha. I do not desire result from that. It's not my desire. Huh? I have no desire for the fruits of the work. And not only that, anyone who knows about this, that Krishna has no desire, though he is a creator, he has no desire. Anyone who knows this will not be binded by the karma. See, Nishkam Karma Yoga. See how it has come. Nishkam Karma Yoga, which we discussed in the previous two chapters. Do your duty, but without attachment to the result. Without being proprietorship over the reaction of the results. तो somebody में ठीक है डिजायर तो नहीं है रिजल्ट का, लेकिन कम से कम मैंने किया, मेरा नाम तो कहीं बोलता है ना, हमें कर्म स्फरे, तो फिर मैं करूँ ही क्यों एक्टिविटी अगर मेरे को न रिजल्ट मिलेगा न मेरा नाम होगा, व्हाई शुड आई डू? सो कृष्णा सेज डोंट बी अटैच्ड टू नॉट डूइंग आल्सो, मींस परफॉर्म योर एक्टिविटी एज ए ड्यूटी टू सेट एग्जांपल, to teach others that Krishna is doing. You see, he comes and he performs as a Kshatriya, as a Vaishya. He performs his duty. Why? He has nothing to do. He's beyond the guna. Still he acts. So anyone who understands this, see Baba, Krishna is the creator, but he is like, has nothing to do, but still he performs. So I should also act in that. So in Nishkam Karma Yoga. So now topic goes on. Nishkam Karma Yoga takes away. And then Krishna says that evam jnatva kritam karma purvairapi mumuksh. Evam jnatva kritam karma purvairapi mumukshvi guru karmaiva tasmatvam purve purvataram kritam. Read.
All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps.
So, evam gnatva. Gnatva means what? Understanding this Krishna's not affection towards the activity, to Krishna's nishkam karma. Right? Evam gnatva. That Krishna is not affected by the activities that he does. Evam gnatva kritam karma. You do your duty. Evam gnatva kritam karma means have been done. The karma has been done. Knowing this. Who has done? Purvairapi. Purvair, even the previous. Mumukshubi, those who are desiring liberation. So those who are desiring liberation, they also worked. In what way? Understanding, by the understanding how Krishna worked without attachment. They also worked without attachment. Evam gnatva kritam karma purvair api mumukshvi kuru karma eva tasmatva. Kuru, you also do. Karma eva. So, oh Arjuna, now you also should do. Kuru karma eva tasmattam. Therefore, you should also do. Why? Because in the previously, people did it. And what did they do? They got liberated. So, you also do this. So, knowing me in this way, previous person desiring liberation. Who previous person? My students like Vivaswan who followed the teaching, performed Nishkam Karma. Right? So Sun God, he acted. Right? He's still acting. He's giving heat and light to all the planets. On whose order? Because Krishna will be pleased. He understands. That's his duty. Are we paying taxes? Are we worshipping demigods? People in this world are supposed to, if they are not worshipping Krishna, at least they should perform demigod worship. Because they are getting benefits from Sun God. So, but if somebody is not, the son, what continues his worship, his activity on the order of Krishna. So, just like they have done, you also should perform action and not renounce action. If one is impure at heart, one should perform this action to purify the heart. This leads to jnana. Chapter name is Jnana Vibhaga Yoga, transcendental knowledge. See this jnana, transcendental knowledge, how it will come. One is the transcendental knowledge about God's birth, reason for his birth. It is one transcendental knowledge. Knowing that will also give transcendental. Once will become transcendental. And then how Krishna acts in a Nishkam way. Then one acts in that way. With that knowledge. Then one will get benefit. So if one is already pure in the heart, if somebody is not pure, one should work to get knowledge. And if somebody is already pure in the heart, one should perform the activities to teach others. Still acts to teach others. How did the previous perform the actions? They perform actions following after the actions of the people previous to them. In this way, the distant past, purver purvataram kritam. Huh? You follow your ancestor. That ancestors means just like we follow whom? Prabhupada. Our Guru has given about from what? Prabhupada. Prabhupada, his.
This means from previous world, accepting that there was righteousness.
No. That yuga has a different system. The path is, but for us, our. Now we cannot say that. So here, now we miss how Krishna is giving to Arjuna. Right? Now what Krishna said, we follow that. How to do that? Exactly for our situation, in our Varna and Ashram, our Guru will tell. Which Guru? Guru means who? Shiksha or Diksha?
Shiksha.
Shiksha and Diksha, both. Whoever knows us closely. Right? Otherwise, somebody says Guru means just say Diksha li. We are closely associated. No. Why broad lines from Diksha Guru? Is it different from Shiksha Guru? No, broad lines scriptures gives. But that explanation is given by both Shiksha and Diksha.
Yes.
And how it is applicable to me, then if one has approach to Diksha Guru and can explain and get, fine. If not, like the setup we have, very difficult to approach Diksha Guru. Then what to do? Shiksha Guru. I'm just making clear that Guru does not mean only Diksha Guru. There is sometimes, see it is that. That means that we cannot ourselves understand. We need help. Kim karma kim karmeti kavayo apyatra mohita tatte karma pravak